Hello. I think I'm on live. I should be on Facebook and on YouTube. So let's hope that I'm actually there. Coming in to do a quick live, quick stop in. Let's see. Says I'm live. All right. So if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, if you're first ones in here, you could just let me know where I am. Oh, there's Daly. Hi. I'm on Facebook. My lips are dried out. Hello. We're just letting some people join. Welcome. It's very hot here. Whew. And I am on YouTube because I can see Gail on YouTube. Okay. So I'm on both. Hello, Jordan and Trish. Hello. And Daly and Gail. Hello. Hello. I'm just stopping in for a little bit. I have a crazy busy week. My week is crazy busy. I'm in Slave Lake this weekend. I was in Erskine last weekend. That was absolutely amazing. It was really cool, actually. We had so many amazing people. Those little hamlets, villages, communities that where we go and have where those markets happen always turn out to be like such an amazing group of people. A few weekends before that, I was in Veteran. This coming weekend, I'm in Slave Lake. So I'm in Slave Lake for a couple weeks, and then the weekend after that, I'm in Camrose. And so myself and a few of us, Lisa Richard of, I was going to say Loving Energy Recharge. That's her company. On Facebook, she's Inner Alchemy with Lisa. And Linda Green, who is the Wayfarer coach from Slave Lake. We are going to be speaking at the Wellness, Wine, and Woo Woo event. And so then we have a couple of my incredible friends who are also going to be vendors there. And so we have Michelle, who's bringing in her mediumship. I will also be doing some card pulls and stuff before the event and during the event and like in the breaks and then afterwards. And I'll have my books there. And Michelle is Angelic Realm Healing. She's going to be there doing some readings in between all the breaks in the beginning. If you're coming, try be there by 5 to get all the early shopping in. And then we have Trey Chorus out of Drumheller, which is Lindsay and Dee. Lindsay is going to be bringing a bunch of her products. We have botanical. Oh, my friend Carla, she changed the name of her company. She was Gypsy Road Healing, and now she's Botanical something. Sorry, Carla. And we have Krista with her Essential Wellness as well. I'm just having such a blank. But we have those amazing women coming, and they're going to be a part of it. I'm trying to think who else we have. And we also have a spread of appetizers, and the bar will be open for the bar service, and we will be also pulling and we'll be answering questions. So we're going to be having all that happening, and that's happening. Botanical Earth. I'll just keep calling it I'm like, there's something besides Botanical Earth. It's Botanical Earth Remedies. What a mind blank moment. Yeah, so we have these amazing women, and it is a women's event, and it's happening in Camrose. So this weekend I'm in Slave Lake. Next weekend, I will be in Camrose. The tickets are available on the event page. They're on Eventbrite. You can go to my website. You can go to the Facebook page to get access to the tickets. Any of my teachers, any of the teachers, like support team of the teachers that are now out. We did have a listing that said there is 20 tickets available for a 20% off if you're a teacher or like a support worker in the school. That those tickets are available. It was a beautiful suggestion of Lisa that we do that, so that's available as well. Yeah, and we're just letting people join in. But hello, Melanie. um, so we're just letting people join in, and then I haven't got everything booked yet, but I am coming to Newfoundland in November. So I'm coming to Newfoundland in November. Fingers crossed. Let's hope this all works out. Let's hope I can get to Newfoundland. But as far as I know, today I start trying to book the first events. And so I'm hoping to be coming to, I'm going to be coming to Newfoundland the middle of November, if all goes well. And so that will be coming up as well. So, and then back on the road here also in Alberta after that. Hello. Okay. So yeah, so if you're in Slave Lake and you're not on my list, I'm booked up for the whole trip of Slave Lake this time. But if you want to get on my cancellation list, just in case, then please just let me know. Send me a private message that you want to be on it. But it is fully booked. Like Slave Lake event is sold out. Or one-on-one sessions is sold out. Hello, everyone. You had a reading. I got to go back and read Melanie's thing now because I got to put my glasses on. No, Melanie. I just popped in live, not sure what it's all about. I'm here, check it out. I had a reading with you about 6 years ago when I was pregnant. You felt masculine. I just want to let you know I did have a baby boy. No way, Melanie. Yes. I love those moments. 6 years ago. Wow. Wow, that is so cool. I love it. That's how I say it. Good, MJ. Thank you, because I'm always afraid I'm going to like butcher communities. It was definitely a great time. And hello, everyone. Hello, Paula, and Christy. So for my people here from Newfoundland, I'm working on trying to arrange a trip to Newfoundland. I will keep everybody posted. I got to get it all arranged first before I can do the full announcements, but I am looking at coming home. And this time, so this trip, I'm actually contemplating hosting an event in Buckens, in my hometown. So I'm contemplating hosting an event right in Buckens and Grand Falls, of course, and St. John's. But I'm thinking about doing an event in Buckens, which I have not done. Funny, I go home all the time, but I haven't done a trip there. I told you, Dealey, just get on a plane and just come up for the weekend. Okay. All right. I hope my internet holds up. It has been real wonky, but we've got some big shifts happening. We've had that Pluto and Aquarius going direct. It has been in retrograde for a long time, and Pluto's in Aquarius for till 2044 or something like that. I don't know. It's for a long time. And so it has been kind of and Pluto, it's been retrograding, so it's kind of been influencing and affecting us in so many ways. Um, we've also had, um, and now that it's in direct, Pluto is. I posted this in my energy update that's on Facebook. Um, it is. It's like the phoenix rising. It's like the phoenix energy. It's like the alchemist. It's the transformer energy, and it's about endings, beginnings, but death, rebirth, new beginnings, innovation, new things happening. There's a lot of Pluto brings about like a whole new world, right? It's like we're just totally making a shift, and we're doing like major shifts, major changes, and we're in a 9 year, and now we're going into a 10 year in numerology. So 2026 will be a 10 or a one, right? It's one amplified because it's 10, because it's 1 0. So it's like one amplified. And so it is endings and beginnings. Whenever there's an ending, there's a new beginning, right? No matter what, it's if there's an ending, there's something new. There is something new beginning. An ending is also a beginning, right? It's a beginning of something new. However you want to look at that, an ending is a beginning. And so it brings about a lot of 2026 will be bringing a whole lot of newness into our lives and into the world, and a whole lot of change. So kind of those those kind of secrets that's been kept secret for a long time is not going to be so secret no more. That's what it's going to be like. Yeah, just saying. Um, I'm just bringing up the energy. Um, One second. It's my dad's birthday today. Happy birthday to my dad. My dad is my dad is 79 years old today, and he's perfect. That's what he tells me. He's my parents and my stepmother. My stepmother's only a couple years older than me, so she should be good and young. But Betty, with your broken arm, um, I'm thinking of you. But my they just don't seem to really age. But my dad is 79 years old today, and I'm just like, how did we get to this point, Dad? That you're 79 years old, but it's his birthday. Um, and he's still as active as could be. He's still busy. He's on the go all the time. You would never know that he's aging. He's barely has any gray hair. Um, and then so today we have the moon is in Leo today. So we have that Libra, and then we have the moon is in Leo. So you may feel very energetic, inspirational today. You may be feeling the push to get going, to get things done. You may feel like you're like just want to show up today. Or you may have felt like I just want to show up today. I just want to be out there today. I want to do something. Your personality may be trying to shine through today. Um, and so we have a lot of beautiful little sparkly little light in the moon energy today. And this is how we emotionally show up. And of course, we still got that Saturn in Pisces, which is in retrograde. And then it's going to bounce back into Aries when it's ready to make its shift. And then it'll be in Aries for, I don't know, definitely I think it's over a year. Um, and we have Neptune in Aries, and Neptune being in Aries is also in retrograde. And we got Uranus in Gemini, which is in retrograde. So we still got some retrograding energy, but that your mom is a Leo, Felicia? I will for sure, Kelly. Um, thank you, everyone. Wishing my dad a happy birthday. Um, your mom is a Leo? Yeah, so my moon sign is Leo. I wonder if your mom. Oh, I thought you said your mom. Your moon sign is Leo. Yes. And so the moon is in your sign today. So if your moon sign is Leo, then you are right there. Um, I see that. Please put your glasses on, Corey, right? Um, and so yeah, there's just been this shift that just happened. It was a big shift. Like this coming out of retrograde, it went into retrograde in um May the 4th is when the Pluto and Aquarius went into retrograde, and it only just came out. So we've definitely been uh we definitely would have been feeling the effects of that. And now it's about some turnaround. So we're about to see some turnaround. So it's definitely a new era. So we're moving into a new era, a whole new time, a new space. So some of you may find yourselves moving into new relationships, new beginnings, new careers. You may find doors closing, like old jobs not aligning no more, not feeling like it's meant for you anymore, like you don't want to be doing it anymore, and really wanting to transform your life. It may be the time of when if you've been struggling health wise and not being able to get your crap together and get healthy, get fit, you may find yourself this wanting to transform physically, wanting to really get into wellness. Um, and so there's a little bit of um, it's like we're on a little bit of a rocky little ground with peace though to in this energy that's happening today. It's like it's peaceful, but it's not. You may find yourself just kind of wanting to kind of be a little bit argumentative. You may find that coming up as well a little bit in all this. Um, but for the most part, we do have some good kind of we got a little bit of goodness happening here in this energy. And I think some of this turnaround that's happening is trying to move us more and more into kindness, and that kindness and compassion, and that kindness and compassion is with ourselves. It is also where we begin to see, and I think we're going to see a lot of this coming into 2026, is a lot of people really wanting to get well. And I mean getting well in their mind, body, soul well. Mind, body, soul well. And wellness and that sense of wanting to be well within themselves, in their physical body, in their emotional body, in their spirit body, in in all areas of their life, in their physical life, in their physical well-being, in their relationships, and really the beginning of really wanting to restore some relationships or to finally let go in relationships and finally letting go of that which is not aligning. One big thing that keeps coming up for me is clearing. I work in resetting, right? Being able to reprogram our minds, right? To think differently, to really recreate our thoughts, to really turn our thoughts around. And traveling a new neural pathway, right? We can't keep traveling the same path and expecting different outcomes. So the analogy of that is if you're traveling always on the same road, and this is the analogy, there's actually a whole story analogy writing about this, and I can't remember who the author of this is, but there's you know, a gentleman going down the road every day, traveling down the road, and every day he his vehicle goes down into a pothole. And when he gets to work, everyone says, "Well, how's this?" They ask how his day is. Well, his day sucks because it's that pothole in the road, and he keeps falling in that pothole hole in the road. He's always falling in that pothole, and so every day it's the pothole's fault. It ruins his day before his day's even started. And then it suggests, well, why don't you go around the pothole? You know it's there, you keep falling in it. It's like, and so then he starts to go around the pothole. So then the day gets a little bit better, and but then he's like, there's the pothole is still in the road, so it's still bothering him that the pothole is still there. And then it suggested, well, why don't you just go another path? Why don't you just go another direction? Why do you keep going the same direction? And he starts taking another direction, and he starts to see new things, and he starts to feel a little bit excited. He starts getting to work and having something positive to say, something that he's seen that inspires him, something that makes him feel happier, something that makes him feel alive. And simply all he did was take another road. He wasn't falling in the pothole. He wasn't driving past the pothole and being mad it was still there. He just went another direction. The pothole didn't change. The pothole didn't move. That road with the pothole didn't change. What changed was he changed direction. And that's our lives. And that's kind of where anyone is within our lives. It is the essence that we have too often, travel a new path. Why do we not want to travel a new path? We don't want to travel a new path because it's unknown. So we keep going back to familiarity and call it comfortable, or we say, "Oh, but I love that road, or I love that path, or I love that person." I But do we really? No. We've created we have familiarity, right? And it's like it takes effort. It takes conscious effort to make that change. And that conscious effort is to say to yourself, I'm going to go this way instead of that way. So in one of my books is what I write is when in doubt, when you're at the crossroads of left and right, when in doubt, go right. Right? You could if you're always going right, you could never go wrong. Right. And so one right change changes the direction of your whole life. Even when it doesn't feel like it's right because it is not familiar, it's not comfortable anymore. And sometimes we have to get uncomfortable. Well, this energy that we're going through is really taking us into uncharted territories. It's taking us to what feels unfamiliar because we're moving into a time, a new era that's bringing about uncharted territories. We have never been here before. The things that are going to come up, the changes that are going to happen are things that we have not experienced yet. And we have not experienced it because we are breaking these loops and these cycles, these patterns are beginning to change. And these changes of the patterns is changing how we show up and how we live and how we even treat each other. It's going to take a long time. It's not going to be an overnight success. Nothing is an overnight. Sometimes it is, but for the most part it's not overnight. It's like having to rewire your brain, your thoughts. It starts with one thought. It starts with one action. It started for the man falling in the pothole to go around the pothole, and he liked how it felt to not to fall in the pothole. And eventually, the feeling of not going in the pothole and going around it, and the sense of success, because in some way he was outsmarting the pothole, was he started to feel accomplished. And when he started to feel accomplished, he decided then he would go another direction. And in choosing to go another direction, then he felt like he was fully outsmarting the pothole, and he was going to be wiser than the pothole. He was going to be wiser than the old road, and he was going to begin to take the new journey into the unknown and not knowing what was ahead, not knowing if there was going to be another pothole. But he started to feel enthusiastic. He started to feel a sense of excitement. And these enthusiastic, exciting emotions and energies that are starting to ignite us, it feels unfamiliar when we have been programmed and conditioned to respond and live in fear or to react from fear, to be afraid, to only be existing in our survival mode. And so there's a massive shift beginning to unfold. So this is what I decided I'm doing. I don't know about you, but this is something that I decided. Anything that I have that was pages that I originally followed because I liked the inspiration, I love the light of it. Anything that has gotten too heavy, too over invested in, it's not negative at all. It's too over invested in the political world, the political realm. Any of that work is like, I'm just muting it. I'm not unfollowing it. I'm just muting it. I'm just muting it for now because um, I'm very aware. I'm very aware. I'm very aware of everything that happens in the world. And I'm very open-minded, and my heart is open and I'm aware of it. But the shift that I want to feel in my life is to be at to feel light, right? To feel I'm a light worker, so I want to be able to be a part of what brings joy into the world and be a part of the joy that can help rise the energy. And so for me, I've been working on clearing out a lot of a lot of a lot of what's pulling down the energy. It's like we can never be you can never be a solution in the problem. And if you always stay in a problem, if you stay in a problem and search for solutions inside the problem, you're never going to find them because you just there's just more and more problems. Got to rise. Got to rise. You got to rise up and out of it, and you got to be here in order to be able to see what's happening here, because you can't even see what's happening here if you stay in it, if you're in it. And that happens too often in relationships. It happens in the relationship with ourselves. It happens with everything. If we get lost in our own negativity, if we get lost in our own doom and gloom, right? It's like we can't see there is a way out. It has to be that little break, right? We have to see the light. And in order to see the light, sometimes we got to get to the right place, and we got to rise up a little bit higher to see, because it is moving. Um, Felicia, I just seen your comment. My mom is an Aries. That's right. Your mother is an Aries like me. Um, and so, yeah, and all of this is playing out in this energy. That's the energy we have right now. And going for it, just going for it. If you just go for it, right? Like there's things in our life right now where it's just saying, no, I don't know if I should do that, or I don't know if I want to do that, or I'm just waiting for the right time. Well, tell me when the right time is. When is the right time? Right? There's this time. There's this time, and we have this time. Um, and this is what we have is this time. We have this moment. We have this, right? The present. There is no better time than the present moment to really begin to take one step towards that change, or one step towards something that feels inspiring, or something that makes us feel alive, or one step above the place of where the problem exists. Stop falling in the freaking pothole. Stop driving around the pothole and start going a whole new direction. Um, that's a little bit of what's going on. I haven't even recorded this week's energy update. I'm going to get to that tomorrow. That'll be done tomorrow. I was feeling out some of the energies, and of course, some more of the monthly, yearly predictions. I said there would be a lot of water, a lot of like the um, heavy weather patterns and volcanic, and oh my God, it's happening everywhere. My heart just goes out to the indigenous communities in Alaska, and there's hardly any news about it. But it's like, but there's communities that are just like their houses are just like lifted off their foundations, and the water, and it's happening in so many areas. So it's like, be the light. If you can be anything today, be the light in the areas where you can. If you are in a place of where you can be a bright light, be a bright light for those who can't be a bright light today, because there are people who really truly are struggling. And I say this time and time again, is that when people are in a traumatic experience, or when they're in grief, is this is the time of for the people who can be a support to be a light to support them, so people got the space to fall, so people got the space to allow grace to hold them. And so sometimes we need to fall into that grief. Sometimes it's like we shouldn't have to be always keep a face on, or to keep trying to say we're, oh, but I'm so strong, I'm like, we're just tough, we're resilient, we're strong. And it's like, yeah, but when do we break? When do we break? And it's like it's like the pressures that hold a dam, and eventually the doors break, eventually something breaks. But when do we break? And so sometimes you got to let yourself have the breaking moment, so that everything can spill out and everything can come out, and just allow yourselves to be held up. And sometimes we're being held by the guides and by the angels, and sometimes we're being held by those that we love. And but if we can be, if we're in the place of strength and light, then hold the space, hold the light for those who are not. And that's why I always have my prayer circles going, and I always have my light my candles, and I put the visuals in, and I do the prayers, and I always place the people that I love or anyone that I know who's struggling. I place them in the circle. I place them in the healing circle, and I often get messages from people saying, "Can you place me in your healing circle? Can you place me in your prayers?" And so yeah, it's I do that. Um, I do that all the time for people. Um, bec- and then there's times of when I need people to put me there, right? And it's like the other thing that's coming up for us in all this energy is the value of our human, the value of being human. And I always think that on some level we're not here, we're not meant, not on some level, on all levels. We're meant to really truly see our humanness and to acknowledge our humanness. When we talk about, having to uh, be, try to be perfect in some ways or perfect our lives are never going to be perfect. It is not perfection that we seek, and it's not perfection that brings us closer to peace. What brings us closer to creating the peace is to be able to create like a harmony, harmony, to be able to bring contentment into imperfection. It is about being able um, to love the imperfections within ourselves, and in others. But loving imperfections does not mean that we tolerate really horrible behavior, because accountability and responsibility is a must. If someone is 40 and we're still looking at and going, "Oh, but they have that, their little inner child." It's because they have never moved beyond the inner child story. And so the responsibility, accountability is to resolve and heal the inner child story, because to look in the mirror and to see a truth is to see an adult looking back. And at some point, the children are to become adults. And we were all once a child, but that's the whole key. Once upon a time, we were a child. And now, as adults, as stewards of the earth, of caretakers of the children of today, it is our position, it's our job as adults to be the caretaker for those who should be allowed and be given full permission to be a child, and not to be parentified into being an adult ever before they're ever prepared to be a child. And that's a truth. And that energy is really starting to communicate in such a way that it's asking, that it's going to be guiding people into emotional, spiritual maturity, physical maturity, so that the humanness of us can do what we came to do. We came here to evolve, to grow emotionally, spiritually, physically, because as we do, it also is the evolution of the soul. And that we take that greater wisdom back. And the one thing that we came to earth to be and to learn was to learn the truth about love. And what love really is, and what it means to truly love. Um, it's deep. It's deep, man. We have a lot of depth happening. We have a lot of depth happening in the energies. Um, we really do, and it's bringing about. It's going to be. It's going to be bringing about some changes. It really is. It's going to change relationships. It's going to change. It's going to change the standards of relationships, and it's going to really bring about accountability, responsibility, and it's going to be about maturity. Emotional intelligence is massive. I teach emotional intelligence because it matters. And it is about us healing and resolving the emotional, the mental blocks, the emotional blocks, the physical blocks that we sometimes have, the spiritual blocks that we have that keep us ping ponging back and forth. um, well, in some ways, it's shifting in some areas. In other areas, it's going to be a while. No one said, and we kept saying this. A lot of us spiritual guides kept saying, listen, 2025 is not going to be the year when we start singing Kumbaya. That was not going to happen because everyone's like, oh, 2025, we're finally out. I'm like, no, no, we're not finally moved all the way through a cycle. That's happening. But what we have to look at is it's up to us within ourselves to start to shift and move through because there's not only heavy energy, there's a lot of energy for us to access. But when we're only existing and accessing and existing through the heaviness of the energy, is that we keep kind of ignoring what else is happening. So it's like everything that just keeps showing everything that is wrong in the world and everything that's going wrong that's wrong in the world, but what is going right? And we got a lot of stupid shit happening in the world that should never be happening ever. And that's why when we speak about the maturity part is that we have to take a deep look at the adult to child relationship and how on an adult to child relationship is that all children all children should be safe in this world. All children. There should be no such thing as trafficking. There should be no such thing as anyone harming a child. And any time that we use that narrative of someone who's an adult who's hurting and harming a child in any way, and we say, oh, but this happened to them as a child, we have a moral compass, and we all have that moral compass, and we all have a sense of what is morally right, and too often too many people go towards, because they're hurt, they're going to hurt someone else, or that children doesn't a child don't count. All children matter, and children count, and children are meant to be protected. Children are meant to be kept safe, and so once you start to heal and resolve our own little inner child stories, and we start to make ourselves feel safe inside of ourselves, we start to become a part of the solution and not part of the problem in some ways. And so some of the depths of the heaviness that we have happening is is tied around the out of balance energy. And it's on a collective. It's not always that the energy that's happening from the planets is not heavy. It's what's happening on is always heavy. It's what's happening in the collective. And what that collective is, and collective consciousness is that is the patterns, the cycles, the habits, the belief systems, the archetype identities that we have evolved and created all here in our earthly energy. And so everything it's a ripple effect. So when one area goes dark, it can really make everything feel dark. When it seems like everything is going wrong, it seems like it's happening everywhere, and it's hard to see. And I just remember traveling and going to places and people saying, "Oh, don't go there. There's, all this badness is happening there. You can't go there. You can't go there." And then you get there and then you don't see any of it. And it's like it doesn't mean it's not happening. It doesn't mean it's not happening, but it also means there's something good also happening. But we also can't be naive, and we can't turn off. And I always say it's like just because I'm choosing to be a light doesn't mean I'm naive. It doesn't mean I don't see, because I am awake, and I've been born, and I was born awake. And so it's been a challenging life to live to be born awake. Um, and so when you're awake, is you're not so quick to jump on any bandwagons. you are much more aware of what it means to live in the center. And when you live from the center, you can see all things happening, which also means there's even good things happening. Ever notice that when we have somebody pass in our life, that when there's a celebration life or when there's people that come around, is that there's an energy shift and you feel people begin to smile, greet each other with a bit of a laughter, and it's because there's also still joy, right? There is the joy of ever knowing the person who passed, that we got the opportunity to know them. And it's like, and so there's always good energy. There's always something good happening out there. But when we become the warrior, right? It's like the wounded warrior. So here's an archetype, the wounded warrior. So when we're the wounded warrior, is that we're always in the midst of a fight, a battle, a defensiveness, an opinion, having to have the last word, a view, a perspective. The healed, the divine warrior energy is very aware and of what's happening, but not so quick to jump in because they'll fully be empowered and find the right words to speak from a place that will make an impact without more hurt and more harm. And that is the key in the emotional spiritual maturity, is to make an impact without without with as least amount of added hurt or damage as possible. And so yeah, that's where we are. I hope that answers in some way. And so the shift happens when we just start brightening up the world. Be a bright light. Be a bright light. Let me see. I'm like, am I still here? Because I'm not seeing no comments. Am I here? I'm here. Yes. Thank you, Ellie. Okay. Now I got like a pile of comments coming up. Okay. Thank you, guys. I just looked like everything on my screen was frozen. Okay. So I am going to pull a card quickly here. Um, oh, Rebecca, you kill me. It's coming. It's here. It's here. It's actually here. It takes time. The big retrograde of the Pluto and Aquarius has done it. It has made a turn, so it is here. And so here's a card that resonates with that. Love in the dark. Shayama. And so Shayama is like, so everything appears dark, right? Everything appears dark. It's the illusion that it's dark, that she's dark. Like this card is dark. It's got to be dark, but she's actually the light, right? And so she's actually a light. She's a light in the illusions. And the world is full of illusions. And so of course these are not really trees, they're shadows. And it's just like all the people walking around. Most people are walking around without even knowing that they're actually existing more in their shadow self than they are in their true self. And I always say this is a key part of more than existing, is you have to break up with the version of you that you believe to be you, in order to discover who and what you really are. And then we defend and we support and we fight for these versions of ourselves that we believe are really us. That's who we had to become. And too often you've had to become these versions of yourself. These versions were cultivated and created from the environment that you existed in, from the way relationships worked out, from the hurt, from the trauma, from the sense of having to be parentified too early, from being told that, oh, you're such a good kid, or you're so bad, right? Or oh, you are the, you're the responsible one, or you're such an old wise soul. So then you become like the little old wise soul, or you become the responsible one, or you become the, you know, the leader you didn't want to be. It's like, oh, but you're the one everyone counts on. Well, too bad. There's a lot of other people we can count on. I don't need that to be that for everything. And so in a world that appears as if everyone is living their truth, is for the most part, we are living in half-hearted truths. We're living in the sense of the shadows being the identity that we believe ourselves to be. We create the persona, and those personas are big. And so there is a sense that she knows that. She's aware of that, and she's coming out of her shadow. See? She's coming out of her shadow, and she's allowing her authenticity, her truth to be seen. That she's allowing herself to be seen by her. That it's like we're always often going to wear a mask or whatever that is when you're in specific roles. But that truth is what she's beginning to bring up. And that's what we're being guided through, especially through the end of this year and into 2026, is who are you on the other side of those half-hearted truths? Who are you on the other side of those lies that we believe to be a truth? How much of our beliefs, how much of our values were based upon stories that we were once told, right? It's like someone saying to you, oh, well, so and so was just always so good to you. And in your heart, you're like, I don't remember that. Oh, yes, you just don't remember. Well, I don't remember that. I remember so and so being like this. Oh, no, no, you got it wrong. So you're like, well, I must have had it wrong. But did you have it wrong? Or were you always being convinced to believe a truth that just kept the so called peace? Well, it kept the storm brewing. It kept everything, keeping you under the pressure, telling yourself that you must be crazy. You must be telling yourself a lie, that you must not, that you can't trust yourself, that you can't trust yourself. And when you don't think you can trust yourself, and that your memories or your thoughts are not what you believe them to be, or sometimes we have to look back and we have to go, well, who kept telling me that? Who kept repeating that story to me? How many people repeated that story until I thought it was my memories, and I thought I remembered it? Because most of our memories that we think we remember from our earlier years, it's not your memories at all. It's other people's reenactment of the stories that then becomes your memories. Yeah, longest cycle ever, man. 2000 can take a hike. Yes, and so the big cycle was the big era shift, right? Because now we're moved into that age of Aquarian energy. So we're moved into that Pluto and Aquarian energy, which is going to be around till 2044, right? And so it went into the Pluto and Aquarius, went in a while back, but then it went retrograde, and because it went retrograde, it slowed things down. So it's going to bring about a bunch of change. I just don't remember anything at all. Some people don't, right? And sometimes that's a sense of protection, or it's because here's another one for you. It's because when people around you tell you that you have to keep secrets, like my whole life, throughout my careers, throughout everything, do you know how many secrets I have to keep? Right? How many things that would be stored in me? And that's why as fast as I work, it's like take it away, take it away, take it away, take it away, take it away. And so in your early years, if you were told by another sibling or by family members, like they'd spew all their stuff out to you that because they had no one else to tell, and then they'd say, but whatever you do, don't ever tell. So you'd be so afraid of telling, so afraid of breaking that pack or letting someone's secret out, that you literally shut down that part of the mind. And so then you don't So then it's like, well, it's I just forget. And so you literally lock it up. It's all locked up. And because it's all locked up, you don't you it feels impossible to access. That's why we do past life healing and hypnotherapy and stuff. But you don't always want to open up Pandora's box. Sometimes you got to become the person you need to be in order to deal with the things that you need to deal with. So you have to be ready for the experience. And if people blow that open in people before they're ready, then it causes such havoc for people. So I always say it's like people want you to know everything or deal with everything. You're not ready. Right. And it's the same thing if you're someone who's got to make a big decision in your life, and maybe that big decision is going to mean some big changes, and everyone around you is saying, you need to do this now, right now. Look at them and just say, how do you jump into action right away? Or do you take your own advice? Do you do that instantly? Because too often we have to wait, right? It's like, I'm not ready. And sometimes you're not ready to deal with the pain, with the financial burden. You're not ready to deal with what you know you will have to deal with by making the big change in your life. Right. And so sometimes you're just not ready. So, master manipulator, this is the card coming up. And this is the master manipulator. Is her head in the clouds, or is her head in the clouds, or is she just exploding and she's just letting everything out, right? And so this is Mavis. She is the master manipulator. She is one of the most strongest cards in this deck. These two cards may look like two of the darkest cards, but these cards are powerful. These cards hold powerful potential. And so all the power that we need to feel empowered exists in us. And the only thing that can really disempower us deeply down is our ability to believe in what is not true about ourselves. And in this, both of these cards are in the crone energy. They are both about wisdom. They are about the wisdom that you have learned, that you have gained from your life experiences. And that sense of, it's so easy to be a bleeding heart. It's so easy to want to be invested into everything, or chasing that sense of validation. But that master manipulator, is what that card means, is that she's no longer easy to manipulate, and not even easy to manipulate by her own self. Your greatest enemy lives within you. Your ability to be your own master manipulator, to make yourself feel guilty, to shame yourself into doing something, to guilting yourself into doing something, all comes from you. You create that, right? And so this is speaking deep truth to us. And it's inviting us to start seeing ourselves rising, starting to see ourselves coming up and out, and really truly letting out what we have harbored within. And it doesn't mean you open your mouth and you start blabbing off to everyone everything. Um, when I wrote More Than Existing, the first book, if that book had come out in the beginning, it would have been a book of absolute, like, anger and destruction. And it would have been written from such a disempowered version of myself. It would have been written from the wounded warrior. It would have been written from the place of, I'm the victim and that's it. No other way around it. Everyone else has done wrong and I've been done nothing wrong. And I'm like, no, we're all just so unaware, and we're all learning, we're all growing, we're all evolving. And then some people are out to intentionally just make everyone else's life freaking miserable, right? And so when I could really write the book from the right place, the cards came around the same time. And so this was the ability to see the heart of the matter. And what is the real true heart of the matter? And what is that truth? And too often, we have been taught to believe that, you know that we should accept being guilted into doing something. Oh, but that's your poor, that's this, your poor parent, or that's your poor, and it's like, let's take off the poor, right? Let's take off the poor, or that's your poor friend, or that's your poor, and it's like, let's take off the poor. Let's shift the energy in the word, in the voice, in the unspoken language that is coming through, in the emotional, like, oh, I can't believe you're about to do that. Oh, I can't believe, how do how's everyone else going to feel about that? Well, how do you, how about me? Right? And so then bring it back, and then bring it back and just look, oh, well, if everyone could only just do everything I want them to do. So then it's those expectation for people to make us happy or to please us. This goes full circle. And when we can see all the perspectives of all things, when we see the whole heart of the matter, we start to see new truths. And we stop either manipulating ourselves or manipulating others into doing something based on guilt and shame, right? It runs deep, guys. And it's going to run deep for a while. I just want to say it's going to run deep for a while. We're going to see some of this for a little bit, but these are powerful cards, which means we have a powerful influence from the divine, from the ascendant masters. We're really feeling the essence of the ascendant masters coming in, and just a powerful spirit. It's like a spiritual revival of some sort that is unfolding, that is happening, that is kind of bringing us on a deeper inner journey. And so this could be the year that you fall into maybe a dark night of the soul journey, or this could be your rising phoenix. Like, you may have already been in this all year, and it's the dark night of the soul, and you're just kind of coming up for air, and you're finally being able to come up and into the light, being able to catch your breath. Or you're going to have to kind of experience a bit of the dark night of the soul journey. We all travel this path. And through that, then we have our rising from the ashes. And so when something of us, when there is the metaphoric death of the ego and we rise up, then it gives us like new inspiration. We begin again. And so we're moving deep into the begin again phases. And we're also moving into that which needs to die, which is that in our stories. So what in my story am I ready to let go of? What in my story am I ready to let go of? And then we got a beautiful, bright card coming up. And this is Universal Light of Love. This is Lumerian. See? Look at the power. And all of these cards are actually light. All of these cards are in the light. Because trust me, when you're working with the guides and you're working with the divine, sometimes it does, when we're being held accountable, when we're being told to stand in the light and see ourselves and to look in the mirror to see our truth, we just want to run. We just want to run away. We're like, let me just get back to comfortable. It's like working out. It's like, I want to work out, but I don't want to work out because it's going to hurt. Yeah, it's going to hurt. You're freaking right. It's going to hurt. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to, when you haven't moved your body in 10 years and all of a sudden you're going to start moving your body, you're going to sweat. It's going to hurt and it's going to be freaking uncomfortable. It just is. And it's like, oh, I can't do that because it just hurts. No, tell yourself the truth. What hurts the most is staying inactive. What hurts the most is the pressure on our body. It's all the contained energy in the body, and we're not releasing anything, right? There's truth there, trust me. I know. I've had a hell of a time getting back up since my back surgery, and it's been hard because my body don't move the same anymore. But I could always just keep saying it's not doable, or you do the things that you can do. And stop looking at someone else to see your results. Never look at someone else to see your results. Ever. If you're looking at someone else and looking at someone else's life to see your life, you're never seeing your life You're never seeing your results. You're never seeing your reflection. All you're seeing is somebody else's. You're not seeing yours. And that's one of the biggest illusions that we believe, because then we go into comparison, right? And then we're comparing ourselves to somebody else. And so I always would say, "Oh, good morning, Alex." I I have so many people that I speak to from the UK and stuff, and we have such the big time difference, right? Um, and so I used to always say to my hair clients, if you were my hair client, you've probably heard me say it to you, was bringing me in a picture of somebody else and showing me somebody else's hair and you wanting somebody else's hair. Think about it. It's one thing to bring in several and say, you know what, I kind of like some of these things, but to bring in somebody else's picture with somebody else's hair and tell me that you want that hair, you want your hair to look like that. And I would just go, is that you? And my hair instructor taught me this way back in school. And he used to say, is that, just ask. He would walk over to the clients sitting in our chairs doing, says, oh, is that a picture of you? And they would go, well, no. And he's like, well, close the book because you can't have it. It's not your hair. We have your hair and you're in front of the mirror and you're with us and we are in this moment and I'm looking at you and I'm looking at your hair and I see your hair. Now tell me what you don't like. Tell me what it is, what you kind of want to envision, and then we will work. We will go from what's in your imagination and we will come to reality. And when we get to reality, I'll tell you what's achievable. And it's such truth. And that's how our guides work. With love, our guides are always trying to tell us a truth. And too often we're always kind of breaking down, that we're trying to extend beyond, or we're looking elsewhere and we're not looking at ourselves and looking at the truth. And this card is when we begin to fall into just looking into our own lives, seeing our own lives, and we start to be, find that sense of contentment with ourselves, is that's when we're ready to actually do the work. That's when we're actually ready to do the work. And and this is radical self acceptance. And in radical self acceptance, that's a big step in self actualization. Okay, I accept that this is me, this is my hair, this is where I am. Does it mean that I have to stay there? Does it mean no? Now I can start to look at me and sculpt my life and create my life from my potential, my possibilities, and my expansion, right? And that's what you have to start telling yourself. This is the journey that where it is about really looking into self and not having the comparison to other people, not looking into self. It is about turning the mirror around and reflecting back. So all are of light. It's just that when we're standing in the light, it is very difficult because we just want to run away, because unconditioned love is so hard because we're so accustomed to conditioned love. Love with conditions. And because love with conditions is that we can only love ourselves if, we can only love others when, right? And so the love without conditions allows us to feel the sense of being empowered, and we'll make much healthier life decisions and choices from here. And then we have the beautiful Lumerian. And Lumerian speaks about the harmony and the balance, and that when everything is out of balance, it's like we can't have all love, we can't have all light, because how will we know darkness if we don't know light? Right? How will we know if we've only ever had unhealthy love? How do we know healthy love? We need healthy love so that we can understand what unhealthy love is. And that includes the love with self. And so if we've only been taught how to love ourselves in an unhealthy way, then now we need healthy love to know of when when you're having unhealthy conversations with yourself. And that's what I get. Seems like we ruffle a lot of feathers of others getting to this level. Yes. So it's what's happening when you're ruffling feathers is not an intentional ruffling feathers at all, right? It's the fact that people are content when we are the person, and no matter who it is, we are no different. We are more content as people when we stay as the version that makes everything else okay, or the version of ourselves that makes that we just accept things, or the version of ourselves that makes other people happy, that we stay the character of the story that fits other people's stories, timelines, expectations, following suit, and not making the changes. And yeah, and the moment, when you start to tell your story, and you start to tell yourself your story, it's not about anyone else, and it's not about telling on anyone else, and it's not about pointing out anyone else's flaws. It's about recognizing in yourself what is happening in you by continuing trying to be someone that we're not, and moving beyond the essence of that shadow identity is finding our deepest truth. That's what I got for you. That's what I got for you all tonight. Um, does that resonate with anyone? Is that resonating? It's the message. It's the message I was given to give to you. That's the channeled message that I got for you tonight. So you may have to sit with that. Sometimes we need to go back and listen to it again. Um, but it is the message that I do have. Um, I will be back in to do readings for everyone, but I have to kind of I've got a couple busy days, and I teach tomorrow night, and then I'm in Slave Lake for a few days. So I have a lot of one-on-one clients to do this week, like a lot. Um, and I did a lot on the weekend. So my energy, I am just building my energy back up and then reserving my energy, because I have to reserve my energy. You have to be healthy in your body, healthy in your spirit. You need to be healthy all the way around when you're stepping in to do 2 days of massive amounts of 1 hour sessions in a row. Um, so I'm just happy to be able to come in tonight and just share that message with you. I felt a call. I wanted to answer that call. And I just heard Spirit tell me to go give you guys this message. So yeah, so I I hope it resonates. And I hope to see some of you in Camrose next Saturday. If you're on the fence about tickets, or if you're waiting till last minute, I would really appreciate some getting to know some numbers of how many we have coming. Um, and so if you're coming, I'm sure you will very much enjoy it. My talk will be based around some of the work in my books, but and then of course Linda and Lisa and whatever they're talking about, I don't know. Um, but yes, I look forward to seeing some of you in Camrose. The hotel is there. It's right at the hotel at the casino. So it's at the casino resort casino in Camrose. And so there's a hotel there that you can book your room, get a group of people together. And yes, and then I will be posting hopefully about some of the Newfoundland dates coming up, get it all in place. Hopefully it all works out. Hopefully now they're ready for me to go on the road. And that's what I got for you all. Booking in a day or two, just need to, right? Okay. You get that figured out, MJ. So yeah, that's what I got for you. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all, and I appreciate each and every one of you who keeps showing up for me. I so appreciate you. Much, much love. Have a beautiful night, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.